to another edition of Web TV 24 Inside, your place for everything that's going on off track here at Le Mans. If you're looking for a feed for the cars on track in the race, then that is on the app. You must download the app from the App Store and you will be able to then access the TV coverage with world feed, commentary, British commentary as well. And that's where to follow the race. Live timing, of course, on there, and app videos. This is very much the off-track experience here at Le Mans, and talking to some of the players and the guests around the campsite. We have two of our reporters, and hopefully throughout the next 20 minutes, you'll get a chance to hear about things that maybe you didn't know about Le Mans, from tyres to fuel to the campsites and to parties. With me in the studio this time, we have Cyril from the Asian Le Mans series, and we're going to talk a little bit about regions for Le Mans and, of course, qualifying into the Le Mans 24 Hours itself. So we'll start, in fact, without anything else, but we'll start with talking to you, Cyril.
Good evening, Ben.
Yeah, nice to have you in here. Thank you very much for coming. Why is the Asian Le Mans series, why does Le Mans set up regional series like the European Le Mans and Asian Le Mans series?
You know, after the ACO made the first deal for a continental series with Don Panos back in 1999, very rapidly it made sense that they had to keep going that way. And in 2003, they organized here in Le Mans, but on the Bugatti track in November, if I remember well, the 1000K of the Bugatti, which was the teasing race to announce the launch of the Le Mans Endurance Series, that was the name back in 2003, for this new European endurance racing championship. We started in 2004, and it grew up and became the International Le Mans Cup, and then the WEC. And obviously, the ACO considers Asia as a very important market for them. It's a hugely important target within the context of, you know, building the endurance racing pyramid worldwide. Hence the decision to start with the Asian Le Mans series in 2013. The series was operated by a third company the first 2 years. And at the end of last year, the ACO decided to take over the organization, to control it better and 100%. And that's the new challenge for the ACO. Looking forward to the new motorsports market in Asia, which is blooming and growing now a lot. The momentum is there.
And for those that don't know, explain a little bit about what the end goal is from the regional series and the link to this particular race.
There are many things to say about that, because it's not only a series that is made for teams to get an award to race in Le Mans, which is highly important for lots of teams. But when it comes to the Asian market, which is not as much developed as the European market, we have to adapt first to the Asian market. The endurance racing and prototype racing culture is very diverse in Asia and not always at the same level than in Europe or in the USA. So the first thing for us is to put together a very decent grid, start again, give people confidence in that project, and grow with the stakeholders. I mean, the teams alone, all the partners and sponsors in Asia. The winners in the LMP2 class, LMP3 class, and GT class get an invitation to Le Mans the following year. But it's a series that is meant for Asian teams as the main target. But having moved the calendar to a winter series now, it's also meant to attract European teams as well.
So if they miss out on qualifying through the European Le Mans series, they could effectively have a winter program to have another chance to qualify to race at Le Mans.
Yeah, for instance, yeah.
And of course, it's maybe in its infancy, only a couple of years gone by for the Asian Le Mans series, but the qualifier from last year here at Le Mans on pole position.
Yeah, KCMG. I mean, this is the perfect example of Asian teams, very professional, joining the endurance racing ACO environment and growing, winning, succeeding, and enjoying now being in Le Mans setting up the pole position for LMP2. We also have to remind people that AAI, the team from Taiwan, that is racing with a two-car team in the GT class, are in Le Mans this year for the first time. It's the first time we have Taiwanese drivers in the Le Mans 24-hour race. They won their invitation in Le Mans, in the Asian Le Mans Series last year. So it's proof that there are links, but also opportunities for Asian teams to discover endurance racing and European teams to join. I mean, the ACO has a long-term plan when it comes to the Asian market.
And that plan is?
Sorry?
And so what is the plan, the idea?
Very basically, the short-term plan is to make sure that we show the world that the Asian Le Mans Series is an attractive platform. That means succeeding in doing well in the 2015-2016 season. The mid-term plan is to make sure that within 3-year time, the Asian Le Mans Series is established and respected as a very nice and attractive series. The long-term plan, I mean, it's obviously to make sure that we are here and at the same level as the American Le Mans Series or the European Le Mans Series, of course.
Absolutely, and you may well be able to see behind me that there are cars on circuit, and the 83rd running of the Le Mans 24 Hours has begun. We are able to just tease you with what's going on circuit. We do have a couple of highlights for you to look at. Until 5 o'clock, not 1 till 3, because that would be nothing. Here is the start of the race then. Porsche, the first 3 on the grid, and a slight change as they went round the first lap, as the red lead car moved into the lead ahead of the black pole position car, also shuffling in the Audis. The third of the Audis got caught behind one of the Toyotas, so lost a bit of ground, and then the Audis started to attack the Porsches. LMP2, the 47 car, having a lovely slide through the Porsche curves. But we've seen some of the gentleman drivers struggling quite a bit in the early few hours, notably ESM. We had Scott Sharp in the studio a little bit earlier on, and he had a spin out on circuit. GT category was absolutely fantastic. Aston Martin, Ferrari, right at the front of the field, battling really, really strongly with the Corvette, the lone Corvette in the Pro category. Of course, then traffic begins, and it's important for the LMP1 contenders to carve their way through carefully, and then the pit stops. The strategy, very, very important here at Le Mans. And that is, how many stints do your driver do? How many stints can you get out of your Michelin tyres? A problem for the Nissan GTR, the door left open on the left-hand side, cruising back to the pits to have that fixed. One of the smaller problems for the Nissan this week. Not quite on the pace of the leading LMP1 contenders in its debut here in Le Mans. New camera angle for this year. That's a fantastic camera angle off the Porsche Experience Centre. I love that. But a few problems for Michael Krum coming into the pits to jump out of the car, and then a new driver to be installed, and this time the door actually shutting. Now this was a very significant moment. Works Porsche car, as you can see, spun, but it spun on its own oil, because once it got going again, sadly the car then burst into flames. Not a nice thing to see. The second Porsche to go up in flames this week at Le Mans. The marshals were quickly there to rescue the car, but it was our first safety car period. It also meant the Rebellion went into the gravel momentarily. And sadly, it was quite an inferno. As you can see, the marshals just in front, running to the car to try and put it out, to save as much as they possibly could. And oil down at the chicane meant a few other cars ended up in the gravel trap as well. The Rebellion needing to go into the pits because of damage after going into the gravel trap itself. And the story begins to evolve. The new nose fitted nice and fast and back out onto circuit, but small little problems, Cyril. Small little problems on a 24-hour race these days do equate to a significant loss in time because people are flat out now. It's not like the old days anymore, is it?
Yeah, it's really impressive because endurance racing has become sprint, long-term sprint, and I'm very, very impressed by the pace. And yeah, it's wow. I'm just, you know, it's very emotional for me as well because I'm a motor racing fan as well. So you know, we love the atmosphere in Le Mans, and when you are allowed, I mean, you have the opportunity to live that from the inside. I mean, it's just something amazing, and people who never came in Le Mans just should consider coming once in their life because it is something very special.
This was a fantastic battle between two wonderful sounding cars on track, the Corvette, the Aston Martin, and then the Ferrari getting involved as well. 3 wide down towards Indianapolis. Not advised whatsoever, but this was fantastic. Richie Stenaway had led the start of the race, but dropped back into 5th position. This was then the battle for 3rd spot. Ollie Gavin in the Corvette. And that looks like the Ferrari actually took the lead, but that wasn't the case because Corvette and Aston then fought back. That was a couple of hours ago from where we are now. We've had another safety car period, and sadly I can tell you that Loic Duval was involved in a small accident down into Indianapolis when a car slowed ahead of him. He slammed on the brakes and clouted the wall. So the 8 Audi has lost a lap or two and seemingly for the moment out of the running, as we said, Cyril. One small moment, however fast those Audi mechanics were in the pit lane, changing the back end, changing the front end, he still loses a lap and it's going to be hard to fight back.
Yeah, but you know, in Le Mans, as Jackie would have said and keeps saying all the time, to win a race, first you have to finish. And everything can happen in Le Mans. So it's, I think that it's still very open.
And it's still very early in the race as well. Yeah. The night is not quite upon us, but the clouds have started to form. And as someone who is relatively local to Le Mans, what is the inside track on the weather? What are we expecting? Are we going to have a full dry race? It was a lovely day today.
As per the weather forecast, the weather should stay like this, I mean dry.
Well, we'd like that.
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully we won't get a storm.
Especially for the spectators and all the people, you know, in the gathering in the village and enjoying the funny fair, etc., which is very important too.
Absolutely, and we saw some wonderful shots at the very start of the broadcast of fans lining the track 10, 11 deep, trying to get a great vantage point. There is a real atmosphere down behind us with fans streaming in and out, and in fact a few of them looking up and saying hello as we're on this live broadcast. One of the main vantage points at the start of the race is the first corner, the chicane, and then the Dunlop Bridge. And we can now go and learn a little bit more with our on-track guide.
Hi, my name is Timo Bernhard from Germany. I'm driver of the Porsche team with the Porsche 919 Hybrid, car number 17. This time it's red. And we're here at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is the biggest race of the year. I've done the 24 Hours of Le Mans like 8 times right now. This is going to be my 9th time. And the biggest success was 2010 when I won the overall classification. So we're here at the beautiful Circuit de 24 Heures, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, at the Dunlop chicane. We arrive on turn 1 very quick. We have a heavy braking zone here. The asphalt is very smooth, so there are not a lot of bounces. Then we have to go into a tight chicane, and you have to take care that you get a good exit on the Dunlop chicane. Then we have to go down to Est-de-la-Forêt. Please be there on the 13th of June for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and please support our team and follow us on the social media using the hashtag LM24.
Thank you, Timo Bernhard, for giving us an inside track. And every time we have a new broadcast here on the Inside Le Mans TV. We will hear from another expert driver on bits of the circuit, from the Mulsanne to the Porsche curves and, of course, the Dunlop chicane there, and the Ford chicane right behind us, hopefully. One more question before Cyril has to depart and go and enjoy this race a little more. What is the plan for 15-16 season?
We start with the WEC as a support race on the 10 and 11 of October. Then we will go to Sepang, Malaysia, early November, 7 and 8. After that, we go to Buriram, first race in Buriram for the Asia Le Mans Series, early January, 8, 9, 10th January. And we go back to Sepang, Malaysia on the 23rd and 24th of January 2016.
Sounds like a fantastic calendar, a varied calendar, also wicked tracks to go and race on. So good luck with the championship, and I hope that we...
Thank you for inviting me.
No, I hope we have a really good year for the Asian Le Mans Series. It certainly deserves it, and KCMG proving that it's the place to be a proving ground, that's for sure.
They already entered the car.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. For the moment, we're going to say goodbye to Cyril and take a quick break.
Faced with unpredictable weather, how do you keep danger at bay? Today, Michelin creates Cross Climate, the first tyre able to cope with unexpected weather thanks to its revolutionary performances. With the Michelin Cross Climate innovation, arm yourself for every weather condition. Michelin, a better way forward.
Why this watch? This watch has seen machines perform poetry, and memories come rushing back. It has witnessed man test his will
272 miles an hour.
and the laws of physics. It has decided fates by thousandths of a second and seen a champion knighted. It doesn't just tell time, it tells history.
Welcome back to Inside 24, your behind-the-scenes look of everything that's happening here at Le Mans. Don't come here to watch anything about the race. This is a different program to what we've had the last couple of years, and we are just talking about the behind-the-scenes, and there's so much, because this is a proper event. It's not just a motor race. 24 hours of cars going round. There is so much going on. There are 265,000 fans in campsites enjoying the spectacle. There are concerts going on. There is a fairground. And there's plenty more insight that we can give you to the race, but we're just not going to talk about the race or show any cars. So what we do have is an expert. We have our expert from the last couple of years, the wonderful Dave Spitzer, and he's been digging about in the garage. There he is live, but here he is a couple of moments ago down the pit lane.
Information is important in all kinds of sports, never more so than here at Le Mans. The team needs information about the car, about the competition, about the track, about the driver. We've been invited by Extreme Speed Motorsports to have a look inside their garage. So in the back of the garage, during the race, these screens will be lit up with information for the bank of engineers that are positioned here. We'll have information about the competitors, where the team cars are running and where everybody else is running. What speeds are they doing? We'll be able to see trends in their speeds. We'll be able to see, are people speeding up or slowing down as their tires wear? We'll have, of course, the international feed, where they can watch the television and visually understand what's going on the track. They gain information from that. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, coming through the computers via telemetry, they have detailed information about everything that's going on with the car. They have information about the engine, about the gearbox, about the suspension, about the tires, information from the driver. Everything they need to understand what's the condition of the car, is anything changing, is anything starting to become a problem, and do they need to make a decision about when to pit, when to stay out, when to change tires. All these types of things, all these decisions begin back here in the nerve center behind the garage.
Dave, you have been busy today, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been wonderful. We've got some great cameramen to go around, and it's been a lot of fun. Believe it or not, Ben, I'm going to make you laugh, and maybe our viewers. I got a chance to redo that one in French, so it's been quite a challenge taking care of both sides of this program. But no, it's really fun to get that inside access, and I'm so passionate about Le Mans, about sports car racing, about the technology involved, and the chance to take everyone backstage a little bit and show them what our eyes can see is extra special. So I'll always take that opportunity.
Right, so what have you gleaned so far strategy-wise from what's going on circuit?
Well, it's been a little bit hard to get a really clear view on the fuel strategy because there's been yellow flags during each of the stints. And so when the yellow flag is out, of course, the power use is way lower, the fuel consumption is way lower. What I have seen, though, as a trend is that Audi has clearly decided that they were not going to worry about qualifying, but they are absolutely going to go for it in the race. They just did a 3-minute 17 lap, which would have put them second on the grid. They're about 3 seconds faster in pace than the Porsches. Absolutely going for it every lap. Also in LMGTE, our friends from America, the Corvette team, fantastic battle with Ferrari and Aston Martin. They've been linked together. So we're not supposed to cover the race, and I'm sorry, but we're racers. There's a lot of wonderful things to see if you go and download the app.
Yeah, I think that might have been our 30% up there just straight away.
Thank you for allowing me to take that.
You can, and there's many people who make Le Mans happen. There are obviously huge amounts of teams in terms of engineers, in terms of mechanics. Of course, then you've got the other side. You've got the marketing. You've got the hostesses looking after people in hospitality. You've got people, hosts like myself, but there are, I think every single English host that exists is here at Le Mans, either looking after guests in the Porsche Experience Centre right there, or the Audi, or Audi have 7 or 8. Lots of TV crews, but we could not go racing without the marshals. And check out just how many people there are looking after the track.
C'est bien. Zone 33. Pardon, messieurs, pardon.
The official race marshals meeting is just going on behind me. Earlier on, I met up with Michel Dumio, the deputy sports manager.
This meeting is a briefing for the marshal before the race. We need to explain each detail of the security during the race, so all the marshals and the chief marshal are here present. They are in charge of the security during the race. They are the eyes and the ears of the director of the race. During the race, they are each side of the track and they communicate with the driver with the flag. Come from everywhere in the world because to be marshal in Le Mans is a reference for the marshal. So we are very happy to have a commissaire from United States, Australia, Germany, everywhere. And there are 1,700. All these people are volunteers. This is a specificity of SEO. All the marshal for all race, car, bikes, all the marshals are volunteers.
But Dave, the marshals, they might be volunteers, they might have to stand out in the rain and the cold, but they absolutely love it, don't they?
It's wonderful. I'm so glad we did that feature. I've been involved in racing in the United States, both as a driver and as a participant, and also at the with the sanctioning body. And the marshals are volunteers. They are in the United States. They are around the world. They are so passionate about the sport. They're so knowledgeable. They're so experienced. It's kind of a family. They get together in the mornings. They get together in the evenings. Often they eat together. And they really get to know each other around the country. I would encourage all of the fans tuning in from around the world, if you have the opportunity to volunteer, certainly in the United States, it's the Sports Car Club of America. But it's a wonderful family, a wonderful camaraderie. They're very dedicated, and we in the world of racing cannot thank them enough because you couldn't put on the races without them, and they're magic.
And the benefit of being a marshal is you always have the best view. And it must be said that I've been very lucky to be sometimes right beside a barrier, whether it be at other tracks or here at Le Mans. I was a couple of years ago, before it was a red zone, standing on the outside of the Porsche curves. You really see the off-camber, and the cars are sliding towards you before they grip. And a marshal has to stand there for his whole race sometimes to marshal that part of the track. Scary, but also thrilling and a real privilege to be beside a car doing 200 miles an hour as it's sliding around near you.
It is a privilege, and they're all well drilled and well trained. It's important when you're on station to be focused on the track. Absolutely. And not get distracted. They're not checking their phones. They're not talking to each other. You never turn your back. Each person has their required tasks. Some are looking up the track, some are looking down the track, some are reporting back. There may be a rotation that's going on. So again, they are a team. Just like in pit lane we see teams, just like here with our production crew there's a team. They're a team, and it's wonderful to see, and they're all very professional.
But why necessarily? We've got technology now. We've got a huge amount of technology going into the cars. We've got lights flashing different colors depending on the situation the driver is in. So if he comes into a yellow flag zone, he'll have a warning light. He'll have a yellow. If it's a code 60, he'll have a code 60 on the steering wheel, blue flag or whatever. Do we need marshals?
Yes, we do. In my opinion, yes, we do, because
and me, I was
of course.
Just teeing you up.
There's no end to the variety that can come about when you're involved in motor racing. So one could try to think of all the available scenarios and come up with a computer program or some decision matrix for how you're going to get there based on various circumstances. But you could never dream of the things that happen on station. And I can tell you, having been up in race control at the Rolex 24 in Daytona and various other tracks, it's chaos in there. There shouldn't be someone whose job is to try to think of what's going on all around the track. We can rely on other humans with good judgment, with good experience to make those decisions and keep everybody safe.
I'm so glad you mentioned the Rolex 24, because I was worried about how I was going to segue to the next bit, which is the prize for winning the Le Mans 24 Hours, as at the Rolex 24, is indeed, well, one of them is a Rolex watch. And we went and found exactly where they're located and had a look.
During the 24 Hours du Mans, next to the racetrack is a village where you'll find restaurants, stands and shops open to the public. We visited the Rolex boutique, the official timekeeper of the event, who have a selection of their watches on display. Amongst the models exhibited, the watch that would be presented to the 3 winning drivers of the race during the prize giving. The brand also offers free Rolex watch engraving during the event.
Hayley's doing an amazing job around the paddocks, sniffing out these little stories, and indeed there is where the Rolex watch lies if you're at the track. And if you want to buy one, you can actually go and buy a Rolex from that stand as well. Remarkable.
When I get ready to buy a Rolex someday down the road, I would like to buy it here. I mean, what better story to tell, and the free engraving and everything. Right now, my budget can handle about 1 Grand Marnier crepe, but in the future, maybe 1 Rolex watch. Who knows?
Oh, and it is nearly dinner time here at Le Mans. So with that mention of food, my stomach is rumbling, and it's time to leave you for a moment. We'll be back in a few hours.
The 24 Hours of Le Mans mobile app. Total immersion in the heart of the world's greatest endurance race. All the teams and drivers, the timing, the classification, and countless videos on demand. With the app's live option, you don't miss a thing. You not only get streaming TV wherever you are, but also the choice of onboard cameras. Be among the connected crowd. Download the 24 Hours of Le Mans app today.
Defense is off, you know, yeah?
Yeah, copy that, Andre. Let's leave it on for these high speed on that.
Okay, good job. Cool. Thank you guys.
The 24 Hours of Le Mans, as you've never seen it. 24 Hours Inside is the event channel. Travel to the heart of the world's greatest endurance race. Go backstage and discover the stories that make the legend. Meet the actors and the fans. 24 Hours Inside, because the event is also all around the track. On your tablet, smartphone or PC.